All right, we're live. All right, I can hear myself too. Welcome back, everybody. It's been a while since we've been here. I think it's been about a month, maybe even longer. We've been on the road. All right, we're live. Oh, hold on a second. Got some feedback kicking out. How's that work? Hold on, everybody.
There he goes, technology, getting them already.
I know, Raul's about to cuss me out because he had to show me, where were we, Baton Rouge, or were we in Texas? He had to show me that I had a calendar on my phone. He was mad as hell. Anyway, we are back in the studio. We got Raul Rivas, my partner in crime from Trauma Behind the Badge. We even managed to squeak out my lovely wife. She's not allowed to talk. I banned her already because she just came right into the studio and started talking shit. Chris, our other partner's on the show already. He's on the... Chris, go ahead and you can start cracking on Karen for me while I'm busy doing the show. And like always, we got Paul in from the Dirty Ore. He brought us some gifts tonight for the show. They're our sponsor, our good friends and family. We just came off of didn't we have fundraisers weekend?
It wasn't for us.
Oh, it wasn't for us, but we were at one. The golf tournament for Cocoa PD. That's right. That was a couple days ago. I've done cooked those brain cells away, man. At Tito's is a bear. Anyway, so I'm going to turn it over to Paul. He's going to let us know what he brought us into the studio tonight, and then we're going to get right busy to our conversation. Hashtag more Karen.
Hey. I brought today our latest offering called Rejoice. It was our first attempt at a pumpkin beer, and it is an actual milkshake wheat ale. Chris outdid himself. It's phenomenal. It's got a little lactose in it, hence the milkshake. A little bit of vanilla with the pumpkin spice flavor to it. It's not overwhelming. Nice, light, easy drinker. And gosh, we've gone through 2/3 of the batch already in just under 3 weeks. Kind of crazy.
It's delicious, I'll tell you that. I'm not a big beer guy, but this is delicious.
No, thanks.
It is good, yeah.
Yeah.
I also brought a can of Everyone's Hero, which is the benefit beer for Survive First. We just did that's when we did the benefit, I think, September 27th. It was a Sunday. And that was just...
Sorry, calendar. An Apple Watch only goes out 7 days.
He's got a calendar, too. Everybody's got freaking calendars but me.
That went phenomenally well. We were at the golf tournament Saturday. Had a great time. And looking forward to January 2nd.
Yes.
For the race. It'll be a good time.
You may be out there with us this weekend at the Riverfront Triathlon.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
That was Sunday, right?
Yep, on Sunday.
Yep. Remind me.
Remind me. That's what I say to her every day. Remind me. Where do I got to be at today? What do I got to do? And, Raul is much taller. Chris said you look taller on the show today.
Yeah, don't forget, everybody, I am 6'4" today. 6'4" is what we're going to go with today, 6'4". Just go ahead and throw that out there. So.
I'm 5'10", damn it.
All right. So anyway, everything's dispensed. You've got the Everyone's Hero there. Enjoy it. I'm going to bow out and let you guys get down to brass tacks.
My brother.
Thank you.
Thanks, Paul.
Paul.
Listen, so what's the address?
329 King Street. We're just a block east of US 1 on 520 on the south side.
On the south side of 520?
Yeah.
520 and just east of US 1 in downtown Cocoa Village. They are open for business. Food trucks are wide open, man.
Starting actually in November. We'll go back to our Wednesday through our everyday food trucks with the variety coming back. We're excited about that to get things back to normal.
Awesome.
We got some cool events coming up. So, all right, man. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Bye,
thanks for everybody for chiming in. Are you done moving your mic?
Well, I've gotta move
Karen
it
is
back here.
messing
This
up
is
the
tough-
damn show
tough
already.
Stuff. I'm watching the beer that's getting ready to slide off. Hey, y'all, seriously, get out to Dirty Ore. Can you hear me?
This is my show.
I know.
Okay?
Get out
Yeah,
there
we
to
hear
Dirty Ore. They are our Strawbird. They are our biggest supporters. They support all first responders. So please get out there and show your support for them, because they are out there always showing their support for us. Thank you, Paul.
Yeah. So let me give a couple of shout outs. Miss Randy. Randy's on the show. We miss her already. She's getting ready to pack it up. Did you see her big announcement the other night, Raul?
No, I did not.
You have her on
So,
Facebook?
I do, but I didn't see the. I'm
She's
bad with
put her
Facebook.
retirement in. Joshua Kennedy. I love that kid,
Congrats,
man.
Congrats, Randy.
Yes. And shout out to Kathy Bustos. She's doing amazing work out there. If you're not doing amazing work, you don't get a shout out from me. I just had this conversation with somebody earlier today. There's just so many knuckleheads out there, man,
Yeah.
doing some just stupid stuff. And we will ship some beer to the. Well, Chris, you're coming here soon anyway. We'll send you home with a pack. Maybe you should drive your car down and bring your motorcycle. Talking about
There you go.
our Chris.
Oh, okay.
So we're excited to be back in the studio. We've just done like 4 cities, I think, 3 or 4. 3.
Three.
We just did 3 cities in a row. We're taking a little breather, and we've got about 3 or 4 more coming up in the works. So we'll be back out on the road again. We're just trying to get through the holidays too. Anyway, a lot of good stuff going on out there. A lot of bad stuff going on out there. Obviously, I don't want to jinx us, but I don't know if it's just from the election coming up. But it seems like the law enforcement hatred is starting to simmer down. We don't see as many of the things on the news. You don't see the riots as much. It might just be because I don't watch the news, but it appears that it's slowing down a little bit, and God, I hope so. Prayers to Baton Rouge.
Yep.
That's we just left there. We were actually, I think we left, and I say we, the Trauma Behind the Badge team, we left right before they were shutting the airport down for the last hurricane, and now they're getting ready to do it again. So prayers to those guys, man. They've had a rough year. I'm just glad they ain't coming here.
Yeah, that's true too,
It's either them or us, right?
I
So
know.
anyway, Mario, thanks for logging on, man. You one of my favorite guys out there. True SWAT brother. And it's a SWAT room tonight, but we brought a token good-looking woman in here for us tonight.
Chris, I
And my
want you to
wife.
know that I have good internet now. My internet is better. You see what he wrote there, right?
What do you say? You got no jitterbug?
Verizon wants to sponsor me
Oh,
for
right.
internet. So it is not true. My internet worked very well last show we did, Zoom.
Yeah, it was
It
better
worked.
than everybody else's.
Mine worked well. I was good. I was on the whole time, no problems. I am working on it. I got a new computer. You guys can attest to that.
He is. He's a big baller now. He's getting famous now. He's got new. Did you
No.
see his computer? It had like rose,
Oh, yeah, the one at the
gold
house.
trim on it.
I already
Tonight.
told you it's
That was
not
fancy.
It's my girlfriend. She's got good credit. That's what it is. It's not. It's not me. It's all her.
Got to
so-
have good credit.
Yeah.
Hey.
She's got good credit. So I just I use it and I put $1 down on it. So we should figured in another couple thousand days we'll be done. So,
Couple tokens before the new version. It's kind of like the iPhones.
yeah.
Karen and I, we own our iPhone, so it's
Right.
and then the new 12 just came out, and so all my sons were home for the weekend, and they all had 12s or.
Oh, that's where you
right.
got that idea
And
from.
they were like, "Dad, you need to get your game up." So I started looking at buying one. and-
Why would you get another phone? You still don't know how to use the one you have.
'Cause-
Let's just for the listeners to know. He did not know that he had a calendar in his phone. He may have known, but he didn't know how to use it. Like he didn't know how to go onto a day and put something in it. Let's say plan for something ahead of time. He was trying to make it change colors. Then he looks like he's looking at a Chinese arithmetic the whole time. So I had to take the phone from him, show him this is where the calendar is. You can press right here. This is a touch phone. So yeah, I'm thinking you stay with the iPhone 2 you got, and we'll go from there. So
It's an 8, damn it. Remember, what was that, Friday?
yeah.
They're 10s, but they're clean, man.
Yeah, they're clean. Yeah. So I think you just stay with what you got right there. It's more than enough for you.
I know, it could be worse.
Yeah.
It was the colors, man. So everybody on the team has a calendar link up, and they had colors, man, like, certain things were highlighted. And all I wanted was some color on my calendar. And good God, you'd asked if I... I'll just get off my... Yeah.
It's just you still going with the whole black and white. I mean,
I know.
I'm just thinking you go back to the flip phone and just call it a day.
Chris said I was trying to log on to Zoom via the microwave. Well, they were, because when the ice maker didn't work, I started beating up the kitchen. But
oh, that's right. Yeah, that was in Dallas. That was different.
Speaking of Chris, he is our other teammate. He's in Virginia. Their department, Norfolk, PD just lost an officer this week. So we send some prayers out to Norfolk. And that whole area, I'm sure it's been rough. They've had a bad year this year. I know Chris is lost. I think this is about the 4th one of his buddies and coworkers that he's lost this year in the police world. So keep those guys in your mind. So tonight we're kind of going to open up just have an open discussion here. We had no particular topic, but what we there's a couple of things that we do want to talk about. Obviously, Raul came back over to studio. Chris isn't here tonight. Chris had to work. Chris is a working detective, so there could be that's the first show I think Chris has missed in over a year. Mm-hmm. So, he's definitely probably earning his keep tonight. They've been pretty busy out there. But one of the things that's been on my mind the other day, I was actually going to bring this up to you earlier, Raul, and I forgot, was, are you functioning or are you functioning? And what I mean by that, so I had a question come up to me the other day, which was really odd on the law enforcement side, and it was about financial stability. Mm-hmm. And because most people that are in this industry, and I'll just say in first responders, period, I don't really know the financial status. I don't if Fields is on the show yet. He might be able to answer us on the fire side, but I don't know their financial status. But what I do know in the law enforcement industry is when most cops get hired at a young age, the first thing they do is, it's just like in the military. As soon as everybody goes in the military, they buy motorcycles and cars. And, my sons did it. I did it. Everybody's done it. But when you get into the police industry, when I first started, it's probably the same for you, Raul and Chris, with $12 an hour. I think I started off at like $13 an hour. And, I just was brought up in a different industry or a different element of time where I was grateful to have a job. So it really wasn't about the money. It was about the job and the career and the long term and the benefits and to help take care of my kids and the pension and the retirement that I use so graciously every month. You laugh and you using it too, right?
Sir. Yes,
I mean, it's a great thing to get a paycheck every month. Mm-hmm. The first of the month, like clockwork, I wake up, that bad boy is in my checking account, man, and my bills are paid, and I can rest the rest of the month. It's an amazing thing. I'm looking. Josh Kennedy just said I bought a truck while I was still on FTO, and what up, Blue? So. Most guys do that, right? And I get it, especially you're young and you're like, hey, you want to have a decent car to go to work and you want to have all that type of stuff. But one factor, and people always say, don't do that because, you're on a year of probation and you could lose your job, this, that, and the other. That's not the factor that I want to bring to light here. What I want to bring to light, and I experienced this in my career. There was moments in my career where I had money. There was moments when I didn't have any money. Mm-hmm. And to go to work damn near for free. You know what I mean? Because, and what I meant earlier about, are you living your life or are you functioning in life? And I always come up with these great ideas, usually at night or if I'm in the shower or some weird predicament I'm in, and I go, oh, this is a great teaching element, great show thing. And then I forget it 5 minutes later. But this one I remember, I just was, are you functioning check to check? What do they call that? Week to week, right? Or paycheck to paycheck,
Right.
robbing Peter to pay Paul, right? And we put ourselves in that predicament, and sometimes we don't ask to be put in that predicament, but we get put in it. And what happens is, don't rely on part-time for your salary, right?
Yeah.
So the amount of stress that is put on you just in the job period, the amount of stress that's on your spouse, if you have one at the time, and you go to work every week, and how can you function? And for some of it, and listen, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you've been like our team, if you've been in mass shootings and all the horrible crap that we've been in. It doesn't matter if you've been there or you're a ticket writer. Mm-hmm. Because I use that term because Kevin used that. Oh, I'm just a ticket writer.
Right.
And I always tell everybody, it don't matter what you are. If you put that uniform on, you get up in the morning and you put on a uniform. You put on a bulletproof vest to go to work. The amount of stress that's involved in that alone, you probably don't pay attention to it, but it is a huge burden. And so Chris is saying financial stress equals mental stress, which equals physical stress, which I agree 120%. They go hand in hand. Physical stress will cause mental stress and vice versa, right? So how well are you functioning? Because it is imperative that you go to work and you function your highest capability. It doesn't matter how strong you are, how fast you are, how great in shape it is. The job truly hinges off of being mentally ready for the job. And so as I'm on this tangent, if you are financially unprepared and not paying attention to that, how well are you performing at your job? Now, for SWAT guys like Raul and myself, getting that SWAT call out, ripping down the road with lights and sirens from 2-3 towns away, possibly 30 minutes, 45 minutes away, going to a SWAT call. How can you function and get ready for that if you've got your wife or your husband calling you on the phone going, hey, where's that money? I got to go pick up a prescription for the kid or something like that. All these little components can pile up and cause catastrophic scenario for you. So back to the beginning here, if you in the beginning of your career, like I was asked, hey, do you want to do the, it wasn't
Deferred comp.
Deferred comp. I'm so glad my wife pays attention. Deferred comp. Back then I was probably bringing home $300 a week, and I had kids and, the typical life. So it really wasn't a lot of money. So $20 to go into my deferred comp, to me at the time, $20 was a tank of gas, or as a pack of diapers, which was vital in that era of my life. So and I didn't pay attention to that. And then when I retired, I was like, oh my goodness, one of my buddies had brought it up. He got hired the same time I did, and he put like $20 a week in, and at the time I retired, he had like $80,000 in there. Mm-hmm. That's a big deal that could help prevent it. So what I'm getting at is it is equal, as much as we talk about being trained for the career and trained for the job and all these things, are you paying attention to that component of your life? And I want to reiterate about, are you functioning or are you living your life? Because in order to live a happier, healthy life, you've got to have your ducks in a row. You cannot do the two and two together. If you're just every week stressing to pay your bills and to do that, you're functioning. You're just basically functioning in life, and that is not why that's not the plan that we have for ourselves, or that's not the plan that we have for each other. I don't want anybody to have to just live paycheck to paycheck every week. So that is one of the things that I wanted to put in bug in everybody's ear this week, that, start looking at that. And if you know somebody, you guys got to help me with all these questions and comments, because y'all know I can't read that well. And
I think for the what I'm reading so far pretty much has all been about I call it balance, So and I think that's what you're getting to. So the pitfall here is that guys in the department, there's opportunities to make money when you get onto a police department, a sheriff's office. So there's opportunities to go out there and work overtime. There's opportunities to go work extra duties, or we used to call it off duty. And you start living, you're spending all of your regular check, and now you're dependent upon the off duty or the overtime to survive. And that's one of the pitfalls that we see. So I think what I hear you saying is that there's balance that has to be kept, maintained, and it's not easy sometimes. I mean, we fall into that, and I was real lucky as far as the financial part, that I had a dad that would put a foot in my butt, about the financial part. My mom was always real frugal like that, so I did kind of learn from her. But and Orlando PD in our orientation, man, they hammered it about deferred comp and putting money away and trying, make sure you live to a base salary and let everything else be the icing on the cake. So that's what I did. When I wanted a 65-inch TV, I went and worked some off duty and kind of did it that way. But there were times though in the middle of my career that I started messing up, and lights got turned off.
Mm-hmm.
I had a 1-year-old at the house, and the lights getting turned off, water getting turned off, and I'm making good money.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm making good money, and I'm out there making extra money, and I almost cursed again, but it almost happened again. It kept happening. Excuse me, as far as that stuff lights getting turned off and bills not getting paid. So to pull out of that took a little while. To kind of, okay, I got to get balanced again, but like, as we all know, you got bills mounting up, and it takes a while to kind of dig yourself out of that hole.
Mm-hmm.
And the stress that comes along with that, on your marriage, because she's looking at you, and she's get the lights turned back on, and get the water turned back on. We got a baby here.
Mm-hmm.
And she really don't want to hear about, I just did 18 hours. Go do 4 more.
Yeah.
Because this is good. And of course, in you feel the responsibility of, I got to do what I got to do for my family. So it takes a while to get there. But then when you find that balance, I mean, that you're right. You start living as opposed to just kind of functioning is the word you
functioning,
use. So,
right?
Absolutely. And that is a huge pitfall. In Orlando, we had so much off-duty work.
Yeah.
That we could not handle as a department. We would farm it out. So you could very easily double your paycheck. If you were willing to work that much, you could double your paycheck in overtime and off duty. But the problem is, next year there's not that much off duty going around.
Yeah.
And you now are living to the 2 paycheck standard, and now next year your off duty gets cut by $40,000.
Yeah.
And now where you at?
Yeah, we've had a couple comments about it. So Kathy Busto said, absolutely, don't build your life around overtime. Mm-mm. And I've watched, my old partner, Rich Gregg, who left me and went to Raul and them guys over in Orlando, he was an overtime whore. That's what we used to call it at our work.
Right.
He worked so hard, but you know what? He had Corvettes, he had boats, but that was what he did and how he could function. But there's a fine line to it, to working and living that. So I want to just touch on something. Ramen noodles became a staple until I got back on my feet. Ramen noodles is still legendary lifesaver.
My son lives on it in college. I told him, Dad, I need some money. I give you $2. You should be able to get a couple of packs of that and a couple of cups of that stuff and be okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear it.
Yeah. There's a funny saying. Sinbad, the comedian Sinbad talks about when he sent his son to college. I'm going to have to look it up. You'll laugh if you hear it.
Really quick, Chris brings up the finances should be taught in the academy, and how true is that? So we didn't get, and I'm sure you did in the academy here in Florida. There was no mention of finances, but when I got to orientation, they did hammer it there as far as a deferred comp and living to your means. They hammered it pretty hard in orientation. Orlando may have been progressive in that way. I'm not sure that that's done a lot, but they did hammer deferred comp, and it took me a few years to get it, to believe it.
Well,
yeah.
We've even talked about putting a financial or finances component in our education for Survive First, along with having all of your ducks in a row for if something happens to you in the line of duty. And all of those things are just things to prepare you so that when you're dealing with the day-to-day stresses that you deal with on the job, it just makes life that much easier to know that you have these other things that are just already done and laid out for you. And as you work so hard and you make all this money and you do extra jobs or overtime, and sometimes you're telling yourself, well, it's because I want this, it's because I want this, but why is it that you really want those things?
Right.
For you,
I have everything I want. I unfortunately have a wife who needs fancy clothes.
I buy my clothes from TJ Maxx. Give
They're
me a
fancy.
break.
I didn't say where they came from. They're fancy. You know what I mean?
$9.99.
Look how she's dressed right now, right? Go ahead. Tell everybody on national broadcast here what kind of car you drive nowadays, Gold Digger.
I don't need to.
Gold Digger. Listen, man, Raul, we just got to start lying about the money, and because she's going to be right there collecting all of it.
No, listen, let me get back to what I was saying, because you made a lot of extra money at one point on top of your salary, and you bought things that you wanted, that you really wanted, but really all that was doing was it was for an instant satisfying a need to make yourself feel better.
I'm going to talk about that. Are you going to steal my thunder again? You ain't been on this show in 6 months. You're going to come take over.
You haven't even let me talk yet. People want to hear from me.
If you want to hear from Karen, everybody, please raise your hand. Put a wave at it. Here it goes.
You're going to wake up the beast now.
Well, actually,
wake up the beast now,
Will
man.
Glover just texted me personally. He's on the show, but he texted me and goes, she's going to kill you, man.
Yeah.
See, even Chris said, Miss New Car,
Karen is my friend. I still call her ma'am. She gets upset. I'm still friends with her. I don't want anybody to be upset with me. I'm just throwing it out there right now. You're getting hands up. Go, Karen. Hands up.
Yeah, thanks, Aaron.
Thumbs up,
Aaron, you're my girl. You're supposed to be on my side.
Yeah, I am not on that wagon right there. You're riding that bus by yourself there, brother. So anyway.
You can come for dinner tomorrow night.
Oh, thank you,
ma'am.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
First of all, don't talk to my wife with that tone of voice.
Raul
is not allowed to talk with that deep voice to my wife on the phone no more.
Apparently, I've been banned from saying, "Hey, baby."
Yeah. We were in Texas. Karen calls early in the morning. Raul picks the phone and goes, "Hey, baby." She goes, "Oh my God, your voice is so deep." And I yelled at her. I said, "Don't you ever tell and use the word deep with another man ever in your life again." So Raul is banned from talking to my wife when we're traveling.
I can't talk to her on the phone anymore.
No, you can't text her. You can text her, but you can't talk to her. So I kind of wanted to touch on a couple of comments that I saw here, and the reason I want to talk about it is there is an important thing here. Since we, for whatever reason, got on the financial status here and being in law enforcement, once upon a time, when I was at a much higher income, in my law enforcement career, I had some other things going on. And I tell this when I speak on stage. So I had a couple Porsches. I had all kinds of fancy cars. I had a fancy house. And I don't have that anymore because I married Karen, and she made me get rid of all of it.
The Dream
But
Wrecker.
Dream Wrecker came in, and well, she did let me buy her a fancy car.
Right.
But and really, what I was doing, I didn't know it at the time. I had all these toys, and all they did was aggravate me. I talk about that. I'd come home and I'd pull in the driveway, and I'd see my Porsche, and it'd have living on the beach. It'd have sea salt every day, and it just drove me crazy. And I'm not bringing this up like I'm cool or something. There was a reason for it. The reason was I was trying to buy my happiness, and I couldn't. I mean, listen, if you got a couple Porsches and a catamaran in your backyard, and you got Harleys and the monster mansion on the water, and you come home and you're miserable no matter what you do, there obviously is an issue there. And I didn't realize it at the time, but Karen and I talk about this a lot now. I was trying to buy my happiness. I was so miserable that I was constantly trying to get new things to make me happy, and they weren't. Now, don't get me wrong. I was pretty freaking happy hauling ass 160 miles an hour down the road in that Porsche. That was pretty cool. It wasn't cool for Karen, but it was cool for me. But there was an element, but it was really missing the trick. So the reason I bring this up, and as Kathy calls it, comfort purchases, right? I was trying to comfort something. But the reason I'm bringing this up, and mainly for younger viewers of the show, is listen, man, if you're going to do this job, you better have your A game on. More than ever now, because when we started this crap, Raul and Chris and most people on the show, we didn't have to deal with the crap that they have to deal with now. So the stress level has gone from 10 to 10 times freaking the 100, right? It's off. You can't even scale the amount of stress that these cops are on now. And so what I tell you is, listen, you don't need that $60,000 pickup truck. You don't. Because let me tell you something. Not one time does anybody care of the nice-ass diesel truck you're driving. Not at any time does anybody care if you're driving a POS, $1,000 Hyundai with no air conditioning. Nobody cares. So don't ever make that decision like, oh, people will judge me if I don't have what these guys have. What you're missing is one thing that you need to have outside of these fancy elements is you need to have a life, and a life that is worth living and that is fun living. Take it from somebody who
rides a tandem bike.
Ooh, damn, that was low. That was like in the balls right there. Chris, I hope you heard that one. There was a conversation we had when we were in Texas. That was a low shot, a tandem. Like he has to put his balls away before he gets on the bike, type bike. He's got to unhook them and leave them in the cupboard before he gets on the bike, type tandem bike.
God,
that's what he's
that
got.
That shit was freaking brutal. Just kicked me right in the ding-ding, man.
And I want to say that while I do care about the car that Karen drives, she's got a badass car now. She's not going to talk, but it's badass right now. I'm just saying.
Shots fired, Jason. So Jason's my boy, right? So we went to Jackson Hole last year for the holidays with Jason and his wife, and what an amazing dude. I miss you, Jason. He said the same thing. Made a good point about buying the cars, and when he was going through his mental health, the same thing. But you just, first of all, let me school you, lady. Okay, I don't even like you right now. My bike, okay.
Yeah.
My wheels on my bike are more expensive than your bike.
The tandem one is expensive. The tandem bike's expensive, yeah.
It is expensive. Ours
Yeah.
is, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about my racing bike. Can I get a
we
picture
really-
online? Somebody put a picture of me racing my
it
bike.
really doesn't matter anymore. Now the picture of you is going to be on a tandem bike.
You're supposed to be
No
my boy,
balls.
man. You
Yeah,
just gonna gang up on
just-
me too?
bro,
I got
I'm
the
just-
two freaking Mexicans in the freaking
Hey, hey.
arena picking on me, man.
Hey,
Whatever
but this
flavor.
Mexican here don't ride a tandem bike.
Oh, I'll get you on the tandem bike.
I
I'll put you on the back.
Could somebody help me, man?
Until you say the forbidden word, I will not be in it. But I will make you that deal. This is an inside joke, but if you say the word, I'll get on the damn tandem bike. There you go, right there. I will be like the freaking bear in the circus riding the tandem bike. I'll be that one. If you say the mat, you know the word. An inside joke. We're not gonna
Randy,
go, yeah.
we do have a basket on our tandem bike, and is there a bell on it? Do you have a bell on your handlebars?
There's a bell on my beach cruiser.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
all right.
All right, can we get back to the show?
Yeah,
talking
I'm
about your
sorry.
tandem bikes and
Oh,
made me
yeah.
lose my whole train of thought. I was really trying to make a valid point. I wasn't trying to talk about our dorky bikes, but when it comes to bikes, please take the time to look on my Facebook of my racing bike. That's a man's bike.
Right there. That's,
Yeah,
that's,
Will Glover, man. How you gonna punk me out like that?
oh,
Holy crap,
God.
man.
The bell was aftermarket, he says. That's what Chris said. The bell was aftermarket.
It is
So
an aftermarket
That's the
bell.
expensive part.
That's
but
it.
But back to
Next show, I'm bringing my racing bike with me. I'm gonna put it on the back wall here, and I am.
back to the
Doug
point.
needs
I'm
to
trying
ride
to
a
bring it
Uniso.
back. I'm trying to bring it back. I'm
trying,
man. I'm trying to. I was gonna say, they used to hammer to us, wants and needs.
Yeah.
And kind of understand the difference between that. And that was a huge lesson for me, the wants and the needs. So when the lights were going off and the water was going off, I had to kind of sit down with the wife and what are the wants and what are the needs.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll be surprised. Some of the stuff that you thought you needed, you don't need.
No, listen, it's amazing what you can live without when you don't have it.
When you don't have
And
it.
more. Yeah, I had buddies of mine back then. Like, what you got to be depressed about? What you got, man? Look at you. Hey, no.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. And so when Karen came into the picture, she made me clean out the toy box, so to speak. I wasn't allowed. Yeah, she did not want me driving fancy sports cars because they were triggers. And she was like, you get in trouble when you have stuff like that. And, these things were adding stress to the play. And so, it took me several years to be able to work through that type of stuff with stress and cleaning my plate. And I think I'm much better at it now.
You're much better at it now.
That's a good answer to give right there.
As he has his hand on the switch to turn her mic off, right? He's like,
Cut
He
her
is right
mic
there.
off, and I got my finger on my trigger over here. She gonna get it. So anyway, back to it once again. What a great show tonight, man! It's been good to.
It's nice to laugh sometimes.
It is, sometimes we get in some doom and gloom. Well, if you want to laugh, tune in tomorrow night on Trauma Behind the Badge, because there's always some sort of disaster series on there of us joking and ragging on each other. But back to the component again. It is so important that you focus on that. Now let's jump. So I made a point about the young guys in there, in the law enforcement industry or first responders. When you're young, I say guys, guys and girls, right, making that mistakes. Now let's take it to the end of the career. So a lot of, I used to see guys in RNC, they would retire, and we had this one clown that worked for us, and I'm gonna call him a clown because he is a clown. He came to work every day and bitched and moaned about how horrible the job was. Oh, I got 6 weeks to go and I'm never. That sorry sucker came back within a month and he became a booking officer. No, was he booking officer? One became a booking officer, the next one became a booking officer, and the other one just came the worst one that I ever worked with. The most disgruntled, grumpy, complaining, every department's got one. This fool came back and worked every week as a reserve for free. and it was blown away from me. His life was miserable because he spent so many years in that misery. I believe that's why he came back to do that, because he didn't know life any differently. The other ones didn't prepare. Now, I get it. So if you're a cop like in the 70s and 80s and you retire in 2000, there could have been a financial deficit because of inflation didn't play it. But in this day and age, listen, man, you do not want to work 20 years, 25 years, however long it is for you to close the door to that career and have to go to go back to work, where you're forced to go back to make health insurance. I think somebody said that, and maybe it was one of the ladies said something about, I got to figure out a way to get through the health insurance thing. Yeah, which is a huge factor. Because let me tell you something, the health insurance thing, look, you're talking a guy who had spinal fusions, and I had spinal surgery in January. There had to been hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Well, I was gonna say, I think for anybody who works for public service, whether it's cops, firefighters, first responders, teachers, that's a huge thing. And that's why it is so important when we are younger to plan and to make wise financial decisions and not live beyond our means, because I know we're going through the same thing with me right now. I mean, I'm not ready to retire, but I'm counting down. I'm pretty close, but we say, what about health insurance? I have a pension coming to me as well, but health insurance is so expensive. And so it's what we're trying to do, minimize as much as we can so that we can enjoy that retirement one day. And I think that that's a huge thing with anybody who works in the public service. So that's why it's so important to just smart financial planning all the way through, so that you can see that day and be able to pay for that health insurance and be able to retire and enjoy your retirement.
Well, let me first say, baby, that
I knew it was coming. That's why I was looking over at like, I knew this dirty bitch was going to say something.
you were way too young to retire, too beautiful. So there's no way, baby.
I got 10 years. 10 years.
I
need to slap you.
She needs to retire now because she's ruining my social life. Yeah. Like every freaking time I want to do something, she's like, I got to work tomorrow. I'm like, well, I don't.
Got to teach the children,
What
Someone's got to teach these kids.
To your point, is again, and this goes back to maybe instilling this during orientation at the academy, fire and any first responder. Start planning now for your future, and we tell our kids that, right? So and we always say that, but it's just so hard at 22, 25 to see to 45 and 50, so that's the thing. We have to instill some of that in these young guys coming through, that you've got to start now preparing for your future 20, 25 years from now, 30 years from now, whatever that may be. And there's plenty of examples out there. There's plenty of retired guys that on both sides that can say, yeah, I prepared and life is good. Didn't prepare and I'm working 10 more years because as a reserve or whatever because I can't make it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing we got to think about.
So Thumper said he's got to do 30 years. So if he does 30 years, his agency will continue his health benefits, which is pretty amazing. That's far and few between anymore. So I missed it when I got hired at my agency. Matter of fact, my chief, who's retiring next month, he's like one of the last guys who got medical for life. Yeah. Now, Chris, he did 30 years at Norfolk. They don't get any health insurance. Some you can buy half, like mine. I can pay half or whatever. But it's a big deal.
Yeah, it's changed. I know Orlando had I'm grandfathered in. Our insurance is paid for life, but that changed for people hired. I don't know when it was, 2000 or something. So not as it's not there.
You got in. You got in.
Yeah, I was in. I was hired back in '92. I'm old as dirt. So, but the guys that are hired in 2000 or something, they have to. I think they get some kind of fund that they pay into that they can then use after they're retired towards health insurance and help get some of that cost. But I think somebody was saying, I guess right now, you retire and you end up having to pay $1,600 a month.
Oh yeah, it's a
for
lot.
a family of two or something like that, which is just
It's
that is
crazy.
huge.
That could very well be somebody's pension,
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Well-
right?
Absolutely,
So you
yeah,
basically
depending on what's going on.
you worked your whole pension for a retirement, and that's kind of well. I'll tell you, I'm not shy to tell you, that is kind of the plan, the financial plan that we use, that Karen and I use. So her retirement will cover our health insurance,
And that's it.
and then mine will cover our bills. One thing that we did, I said we did, Karen obviously was more the factor in that, but
We know.
where
We know.
everybody knows.
Yeah,
I don't
so
know. I just
could
repeated
continue.
it.
I'm
Just
sorry.
I just
Continue.
wanted to be part of it, show that I can that I make good decisions. Yeah, I do agree with her every now and then, but we downsized. So we bought and now granted, we're blessed, man. We live in a nice area. We live in a beautiful home. I got no complaints, but we downsized in our home. We liquidated, meaning when I retired, I was like, okay, listen, I didn't just retire to go sit and twiddle my thumbs. I retired because I couldn't carry the body armor anymore, and I was beat up, and I needed to have multiple surgeries, and there was a bunch of factors. Plus, I was crazier than you. Well, I don't have to tell you guys. So it was just time for me to go. But we prepared for it, meaning, got rid of things that we didn't need, paid off bills, because I did not want to listen, I don't function in society well on a good day. So I already knew that there was no way in hell that I was going to be able to go work in the civilian world and have some little punk 20-year-old kid telling me what to do. That would have been deadly for him, and it would have been a jail sentence for me. So I knew, and I made those preparations. Right. But what I'm trying to say is to get this message out there. Every week we talk about resources and we talk about things to help guys and girls live a happier and healthier life in this career. This is the one thing that we don't talk very much about, is the financial component. And there's been great feedback on I can't keep up with all the comments, everybody, so please take the time to read everybody's comments, because there's some amazing ones tonight. But it is just equally as important, and please, if you're a younger listener, not somebody at the caliber that we traveled in, take it from some guys who have been there and done that in everything. I have had, and Raul too, we've had all the training. We've had the best of the best training. There's really nothing that we are not trained in any combat kind of art, whether it's shooting and explosives, you name it, we've been there and we've done it. Out of all that stuff, even on military training, out of all that stuff, the best training that we have possibly ever achieved in this career is probably in the later years of our mental health training. And I beat this into everybody. Listen, if you spend as much time as training your mind and your family and your support system and your own personal resources, you are going to be that much better of an operator, or that much better as a motor cop or a detective or a canine, whatever it is. You're going to be that much better. And let me tell you something, man. Life is difficult when you retire. It's difficult, isn't it, Raul?
Oh, yeah.
Listen, there isn't a day that goes by that we don't want to put that gun back on and go back and engage in a fight. That's really, I don't want to deal with the politics. I don't want to write tickets. I don't even want to look at any of the idiots that I used to work with. I just want to participate in the stuff.
Yeah, go and look for the bad guys.
I want to catch bad guys, and I want to, when my guys are getting ready to gear up and go get into it, I want to get into it. It's difficult. It's a million times more difficult when you have to retire and you have to struggle to pay your bills and struggle, because when you retire, and when your career ends, you know, when you're working, you don't really think about as much of the bad stuff because you don't have time to think about it. You're busy working. This is just one element I'm telling you guys about. But when you retire, you have a lot of time to think about it. And it's amazing what will spark the memories of just driving to, you know, Ace Hardware to pick something up, and you see something and it starts a memory from 20 years ago. It's difficult. So I want to stress on the fact of how important it is that you make sure you have all your ducks in a row, because the most important thing is to retire and to enjoy what's left of your life. And it goes by super quick. And listen, even when you retire, you don't have to go. I don't have to go to work. I mean, I work with these guys, but it's not like work for us. It's fun. We enjoy it. We have fun with each other.
I've been to work with you guys.
It's kind of like going to the zoo. I get to watch Doug. So I just, you know, it's kind of like watching that animal behind the cage. You just watch him a little bit, you know, and you narrate. And there he is in his natural habitat, trying to learn how to use the cell phone. Anyway, but I think what you're saying is so true. I mean, even the small things like having to adjust to that paycheck once a month. Mm-hmm. That was even a deal for me. Yeah. You know, just you know what the money is. I mean, 'cause, you know, I remember going and getting the sitting with the city lady and her putting the numbers out there. But that first time that check came in, I'm like, okay, that's it. Not the amount was good, but there was no more. And you know, you got 30 days. Feeling. You got to stretch that, and it's easy to do because you think, but it's still it's not used to that.
Yeah.
And that just so many adjustments. But if you prepare, you can kind of take that stress level off, and that's. It's so funny because tactically, that's always been my thing. Tactically, and with everything I did in this police department, preparation was always my comfort zone. I would feel better because I prepared for whatever was coming up. The retirement thing, just.
But you fail to prepare for what's outside of what you think is your life, what many of us think is our life, which is work. We spend so much time at work, and so, you know, we fail to prepare for what happens after work. How am I going to take care of this after work? What am I going to do after I stop working?
Yeah, it's definitely a big factor. I'm reading some of these comments.
Randy, listen. I'm sorry.
Go ahead and punk her. Go ahead and punk her, Randy.
I don't want to.
Raul.
Worried about retirement? You got to be kidding me. Number one, tell your husband that good job. He's got. Well, hold up. Now, first, we got to talk about the house, though. Where?
That's what I was gonna. I thought you were gonna tag.
I forgot.
You want to get her? Or you want me to get her?
Go ahead.
So. Randy, y'all don't know Randy, but if you don't, I'm going to tell you about her. So he's just the greatest cop out there. Just love her to death. She's a family to us now.
Doing great work.
Doing amazing things. But she gets on her. That's why we didn't buy the big house. And she's talking about, you know, and we didn't build the dream. Okay, listen. We had a barbecue a couple weeks ago in Louisiana in her workshop. Okay, listen, your workshop is nicer than most people's houses, and I'm not even going to get into the toys your husband has in that workshop. Yeah, so you're it's not working tonight.
Don't want to hear. Only thing, the only negative being a city boy was that we were out in the scary woods, man. That we were out there. I was a little bit scared. I mean, we turned up that road, man. We turned up that road, and it kind of went back in the woods, and I was starting to get scared, man. I didn't know where we were.
I was scared.
I said, man, we going back to the swamp here, man. Some gators back there, man. I didn't know what was going on.
Sasquatch, and then we were in Louisiana, so there was only like three people with teeth. Yeah. and Randy and her husband were the main. They were the main ones.
Exactly.
We're just giving you a hard time. We loved it there, man. We loved everybody out
man.
there.
Thank you so much for everything you did for us.
And Randy's getting ready to retire, but we're going to continue working with her once she retires. We got plans. She's got plans. It's going to be a good time.
And Randy, you're a good example of what we're talking about on the positive side. You know, you and your husband have absolutely prepared yourselves and gotten ready for this point. So I think even prepared, you're probably a little bit of stress just making the change, like anything, you're making the change. But you guys are so prepared. I mean, I envy you, and I'm sure great things are gonna come your way.
Yeah, absolutely. So Erin made a comment too. She's halfway through her career, and it's good information to have all this. And I know Erin personally. She's one of my favorites at that agency. And she's got a level head on her shoulders, and she lives within her means, and that's a good start. And so that could be one little phrase we can take away from this show tonight is, I just said it and I forgot. That's what happens when you get my age.
There you go. So
live within your means.
There you go. Okay.
And living within your means is really important in this career. Excuse me. I think we need to take more time and pushing that issue out there and educate it. I can't help it, man. You got me drinking pumpkin beer and stuff, babe. Man,
I like it, man. You can pass it over here if you don't like it.
You can have the whole thing, man. Where's my Tito's at, man? That's right. I'm supposed to be quitting, man. I wasn't even supposed to be drinking.
This is everyone's hero.
It's everyone's hero right here. Okay, I'm going to have some of everyone's hero since I'm here.
So I got to, it took 20 years. So I am, we're running out of time here. Karen's probably got like 20 minutes of announcements she wants to make.
I just have maybe 30 seconds of announcements.
30 seconds. So anyway, it is important. It's been the past couple weeks has been a milestone for me. After all the surgeries and the 27 screws in my body and all the crap, I got the thumbs up from a doctor to start training again. I am, along with my wife, which was my whole world, and part of my depression and suicide came from losing my athletic career. And after all these years, I have a chance to come back.
And be on a tandem bike with his wife.
And no tandem bike.
We're gonna do Ironman on a tandem bike.
I am coming back to. I will be competing at the Ironman in Hawaii on June 5th. I'm super excited. Thanks to some of the doctors out in Louisiana when we were out there. Yeah, Karen's gonna do it with me.
No, it's
the Kona half in June.
Yeah.
So if that goes well, then I'll look at doing the full one in the fall. So anyway, I'm super excited. I just had to share that, man, because I just can't even believe it.
Awesome.
After all these years, I finally, I'm swimming, I'm biking, I'm kind of running a little sprints, but I'm doing a lot of walking. I still got to wait a little bit more time on the running, but so there is hope. There is life after that. That was part of my retirement plan. Is like I wanted to start doing some of those things. And get my body back to where it needed to be. And so I encourage everybody, and the reason I'm telling you this, and I encourage everybody, is stick to your goals, stick to your dreams, right? But plan. And remember, man, the job is a job. Plan for the job, plan for after the job. Do the things that you got to do so that you can live and not function. And that's what I was getting at. Listen, there's days that we just function, man. Like I'm not going to lie. Like I woke up this morning, it was a really bad night. It was a bad day for me today, but it got better as the day went on. Raul came over to hang out with me, kind of helped me get through that. And then, so those are important things in your career. Please share that information. Please share that with.
Yeah, that was going to be my thing, Doug. Make sure you share the same way we share about mental health and about tactics. Share this part, the financial planning for the future. I mean, don't keep this to yourself. Make sure you tell the person underneath you, next to you, plan, save a little bit, invest. Whatever. Make a plan, whatever it is.
Yeah, make a plan. And listen, call your boys out. And I say your boys, you could be your girls too, but call your boys out. If you see them doing something stupid or making a bad decision, pull them to the side professionally or, appropriately. Pull them aside and go, hey, listen, man, I just want to have this talk with you. Do you really need that? That's going to add a lot of stress. Life changes. Listen, I told my daughter this when she wanted a tattoo. The stuff you think is cool when you're 20, you don't think is cool at 30. And the stuff at 30 isn't cool at 40, and it's really not cool at 50. Life is going to change drastically through the the ladder of your career. So, but one thing that will never change in your career, and as Chris said, you're not the job, it's what you do. You're going to work every day. The job doesn't consume you. Don't let it consume you. Go live your job, but also remember to live your life and focus on not functioning, but living your life to the fullest, man. But if you're not getting up every day and laughing and smiling, there is a problem. There's something that's not working. Do whatever you got to do to fix it so that you can live a happier, healthier life. I think I'm running out of steam. I think I'm gonna turn it over to y'all. That's how I do it, man. I run out of words
and stop and you just turn it over. No, I like that. I think especially now, when we came in here, we kind of went like sideways on what we said we were going to discuss today. We were just going to kind of catch up and talk about how we've been handling the last, I don't know, how long has it been since all of this craziness kicked off back at like
January, March,
somewhere back in so we're like 8 months that we all have been dealing with some sort of stress, whether it's been because, we just, like today's my first day back in the studio. And I was a little apprehensive about it. Last night I hugged my dad. This is like the craziest thing. I hugged my dad for the first time since February because he's diabetic, and he is, I don't want to say afraid, but he's a high risk and wants to stay healthy. But it took us finding out that he has to have triple bypass surgery for us to kind of just share that moment, and so there's been a lot of stress, and I think that talking about this, what we talked about tonight, kind of goes hand in hand with just taking care of yourself, and I would like for everybody to really take a step back and stop it. Take a step back and listen. Take a step back and really just think about where you're at. And like Doug said, oh my God.
And listen,
people are so crazy.
I'm cutting you off for a minute. Nobody cares about what you have to say anyway.
Oh, damn. Oh,
you're
my.
not getting your popcorn tonight. Make your own popcorn. Actually, the whole week, make your own popcorn.
Holy shit.
He doesn't even know how to make popcorn.
He doesn't even know how to make popcorn.
No, he doesn't know how many minutes, nothing, because I do it all for him.
I'm just playing, babe. I'll buy you.
Oh, so you just threatened him now.
You threatened him now.
The whole popcorn thing messed him up. You threatened him now. He's trying to backtrack now,
I'm not getting my popcorn. No, just think about where you've been at, and wake up in the morning, like Doug said, and find something to smile about. Take care of yourself, take care of your health. So that's it. You just threw me completely off. You're still not getting popcorn, so.
God dang it, man. It was Chris who messed me up, because Chris made me laugh, man.
Hey,
he was messing with me. He said,
I'm with you. I think the popcorn is code for something else. We're going to go ahead and just let it sit right there and let it simmer. Let it simmer, but, I'm looking looking at her say popcorn, but she's got a sparkle in her eye, so.
It is really just popcorn, man. But I was laughing at the Dominican flu, man. Like, what is the Dominican?
I don't even know. Danny, my brother, man, how you doing?
Danny, how many stitches did you get, Danny? Danny, how many stitches you get? So listen, I can't punk him out because he's one of our boys, man. But Danny cut himself the other day.
How do you? Oh, Danny, you got to give me a call. Let me know what the hell he's talking about, man.
He's trying to. About, brother. He was playing with knives, is what he was doing. He was trying to.
All right, so I think we have to close this out. I think we are over time. Raul, do you have any last-minute words?
No, I think we're good. I mean, again, just share your knowledge with the next person. And again, it's just like everything we talk about, tactically, mental health, financially now. Share the knowledge you have with the person next to you, under you, above you, with just anybody. So, somebody's mind's in the gutter.
It's Karen, man.
And it's straight up. It's straight up. The Karen, you know.
And
I'm
you're
about to-
lifting your skirt up while you're
Oh,
talking
my
to them.
God.
Like,
Oh,
God
Lordy.
Dang, man. That's what happens when you use school teachers,
You
man.
know, we're gonna move the beer away from her just a little bit.
Uh-huh.
Like
And-
Did you see it? She just lifted her skirt up when you
You
said
know what
that.
it is, dude.
Yeah.
It's
that
this
voice,
is probably
man.
the longest time I've
Motherfucker.
been talking around her. So I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start talking like this. And see if this go ahead and just calm you down.
That's what I did that day. Right, I tried to talk like Raul, and my voice stuck. Remember on the phone, I was
Oh.
like, "Hey, baby," he just was
It's like what the hell? Hey, yeah, no, that's all I have, y'all. Thanks for having me. I do appreciate it.
Thank
Oh
you
man,
for
we're
coming
glad.
out.
Thanks for coming and hanging out with us today. We got some really cool stuff coming up. The Trauma Behind the Badge team. We've got a couple partners we work with that we've got some cool things coming up in Florida. We got some things coming up in other states. We're looking forward to it. It's been a couple weeks, so we miss our guys, Chris and man, with the Warriors Rest guys, we did some great work. So we've got we're bringing all that to Florida here a couple times. Man, we got like 3 or 4 different things we're working on putting together here in Florida and a few other states. So keep your ears and eyes open for that. It's going to be really neat. We'll let you know as those things manifest what we have coming together. You got any other announcements? I don't have any final thoughts.
I do. If you are in Brevard County or Central Florida, our Run for Responders 5K is on January 2nd. So here's the deal. Tomorrow is your last chance to register for the low cost of $25. So please, if you're going to be running with us, please come out. It's an amazing night. We have such a great time. The streets are lit up with police and fire vehicles.
Christmas lights.
Christmas lights. I mean, we were just out there, I think when we were riding the bikes, the tri-bikes, not the tandem bike, the other morning. The icicle lights were out. It's such a beautiful run. So please go to our Facebook page. You can find the register. I'm not even paying attention to you, Raul. Or you.
Probably
y'all are cut off.
Wee, when you ride the tandem bike. Wee.
Hey, so we took it to the bar a while back, and we it was like, late at night. We had one too many, and so I started freaking just getting it down the road, and she was on the back seat screaming, "Stop! We're gonna crash!" That's the fun part of the tandem bike.
Got a couple of boys over here watching the show, and they're arguing with me that it's called the dirty whore. I said, no, it's ore. It's not the dirty whore. It's a dirty ore.
It's as Chris calls it, the best little ore house.
Yes. All right, people. So
One
get
more-
on
Yes, we're
Run,
good, we're
sign
good.
up, and
One
sign
more
up for the Run
thing.
for
So-
Responders 5K.
Amy Morgan, I just seen your message. We factored you in some of the stuff we're doing down here in Florida, so I'll be talking to you in the next few days. The other thing, don't forget to tune in tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. Trauma Behind the Badge. You can get your Zoom link at traumabehindthebadge.com. I don't know how it works, but you go on there and get the link. Come on the show. I know tomorrow night is James Gearing. He's got a new book coming out. James Gearing has got one of the coolest podcast shows out there. He's coming on our show to talk about a couple different things. It's going to be really neat. Next week is Dispatchers again, part 2 of our Dispatcher series. We're really looking forward to that. We could probably get Aaron. Are we still looking for dispatchers on the show, Raul?
I'm not sure.
I have to double check. I just thought maybe Aaron could come on there with us. But anyway, that's it. I'm choking now. I'm out. I quit.
Parker,
Some water.
damn it.
All right, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank
We'll be
you,
back.
thank
Will we be
you.
back next week or 2 weeks from now? 2 weeks from now, we'll be back.
Cool.
Have a great night, everybody.